Welcome to the Skill Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. Hey, it's Tuesday. It's a live stream. We're doing a live What's on the Bench. I don't remember where all those words go, but they're around here somewhere. Hopefully you guys can hear me clearly. I know you can see me. I'm down here in the bottom bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Being very tiny, hiding behind the logo. We've got a t-shirt on today. It's the which one is this? Tony CCX. Oh, Tony CCXRC. And yeah, we're just gonna be messing about today, just kind of having some fun. Hello, Ben. Hi, Wilson, Ken, Robbie Bobster. I'm fermenting my pineapple. That's why I was laughing because I read through the chat as I'm getting ready here, and the first thing I saw was from DK. Matt's late trying to decide what hat to wear and what beer goes with that hat. I'm wearing the Can't Please Them All hat tonight. Hope everybody's having a good week. It's been a pretty busy week for me, so I've been actually working on a lot of tiny trucks, which is great. And this is sort of a Q&A sort of evening, so I'll be sort of like tinkering with some things, and if there are specific trucks in the collection that you want to see tonight, me over there is the wrong place. You know what? I'm going to move me over to this side. This is probably better. That's much better. Much better. I like me over there better. Now I'm not over the logo. This is like perfect. Now I can kind of hold on to that live stream. Let me see if I can get this right here. There, that's perfect. All right. So, picked up a Vs410 on your recommendation. So stoked. That's great, RC Journey. Congratulations on grabbing one of those. Move me off the screen. Oh, Wes. Golly. I can't win with you guys. Or am I winning? I don't know. So yeah, it looked like you were reading the other giant chat. Yeah, I know. You know what? You kind of have to find the right spot. And I think that side is better. Somebody had a question there. Hi, Mr. Cataract. Leaf Springs for life, right on. Who was it? Somebody asked a question. Dale C. Matt, why does your TF2 sit so tall? Which one? This one, the Forerunner? It's mostly not a TF2 anymore. Let me show you. Since we're starting there, we'll start there. That's as good a play. Oh, just lubed this the other day. Or were you talking about my other TF2? My Marlin crawler, because it actually doesn't sit very high at all. It's pretty low, but we can take a look at those. Howdy, let's get rowdy. Just had super glue blow up on me trying to glue on a gas cap. Ugh, that's gross. That's not good. What tires are on the Forerunner? Those are the RC four-wheel drive Goodyear MTR or Wrangler MTRs. Sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, let's get a better look at this. So this one was built originally by Small Factory, who does check in here often, Tim. Mounted wrong? No. These are on properly. I prefer the wider spaced lugs on the outside. And it's an asymmetrical tire, so it's not ever going to mount the right way on both sides because there is difference between these two treads. So you kind of have to get over the fact in your head that it kind of might not look right. This is correct. This is how Goodyear wants you to mount them. So, yes, this was originally a Forerunner. There isn't much Forerunner left, or TF2. There isn't much TF2 remaining on this truck. Make some room here. Underneath, and I think that gives you a pretty good look at it. It's been replaced. The GCM transmission and transfer case with the proper Toyota drop is on there. A proper Toyota would have the offset front diff on the passenger side, which I think is correct. Regardless, the only thing really TF2-ish about this anymore is the chassis rails. Everything else has been sort of redone or reconfigured or changed in some way. So this is a axial front axle, and there's a reason for that. It's still 4-linked up front. And then in the back, which I'll just flip the whole truck around here, makes it a little bit easier. That's a Vanquish Curry axle on leaf springs, courtesy of JEC. JEC makes, please, man, she's blushing. It's a little bit of an upskirt, I guess. This is a Curry axle on leaf springs. These JEC brass mounts make it so you can mount leaf springs on a Vanquish Curry, which makes Josh die just a tiny bit inside, which is just how I like it. In addition to being on leaf springs, I've also got an anti-wrap bar installed, and that's from Toyo Leon, who was a forum member. I believe he still is, Scale Builders Guild, and that's just to prevent axle wrap. So when you get all bound up, you can't spin the axle itself. It still goes through its full range of motion. You still get all the up and down travel. Don't flip it over, it'll fall apart. There's Small Factory right there. Hi, Tim. The whole reason for an anti-wrap bar is to prevent this axle from wrapping around the leaves when it gets under a whole whack of load. So this system here was designed to prevent that. And it's a great functioning anti-wrap bar. So really nice to have that on there. There are no shocks here because there isn't a shock, I don't think, short enough to still allow for travel and be scale accurate. So I'm going to have to find something on that. Maybe Tim has a suggestion for what he was going to use. And then the interior is a full depth interior. The whole thing has been removed from what would have existed on the 4Runner. Tim did all this heavy lifting, all this hard work on it, and it looks awesome. It's so great. I'll turn it around so you can see from this side. Full seats, driver with no head for right now. My tires are on correctly for once. Hello, Richard. Pardon my noob. If you are not subscribed to Pardon My Noob's YouTube channel, you are missing out on some excellent content. He has the scale park in his backyard, Smiggin's Folly, and definitely worth a follow just for that. So check out his channel on this YouTube page and his Instagram as well. He is the other half of Scale Builders Guild on the admin side, and he and I make all the decisions together for the most part. Tim did a nice job on this tailgate, making it look all cruddy. And I did the seats on the inside. Battery. You're like, where's the battery go? RC four-wheel drive does make shocks, eh? Interesting. So battery goes in this box. Spare Jeep parts is printed on the front. And there's a little door on the back there. And there's the Dean's plug. And you just slide your battery in there. Nice and hidden. And everything's... Hello! So, Richard, you're not moving piles of dirt right now? Anyway, what else? There's also a front motor, RC four-wheel drive motor doodad in there to cover everything up. So all in all, a nice looking little truck. It's powered by a Holmes revolver, so it's got that wee woo, wee wah woo wah wee wah woo noise, which everybody loves, I think. And Mamba Micro X and a Spectrum Servo, and it's a great little truck, and I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. Tim is a great guy, and I'm really glad that we were able to do the trade for this. He also bobbed it, and it's a pretty clean bob. You wouldn't know where that bob was on the roof portion. It's great. Did a really awesome job. This is one of my new favorite trucks. And it doesn't sit, I don't think it sits all that high, if I'm honest. It sits about the same height as any other TF2, maybe a tiny bit lower, actually. Yeah, and then here's the Marlin for comparison's sake. This one actually sits even lower. That's because I've smushed all the spring out of those leaf springs and set it up to be a comp truck. Comp. It's, yeah, you know the noise, Rudy. It's like the wow 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 wow. That's sort of the noise it makes, right? There isn't any dirt left in the whole county. I took it all and put it in my yard. Good. Shouldn't that tailgate have hinges? It should. Yeah, pardon my noob does all the work, and I just look pretty. Which isn't saying much for me. Yeah, everyone's seen this truck a million times, so let's get rid of it. Needs to be lowered in the rear to mimic the 1-to-1 4Runner squat. Is that a thing? Anywhoosies. It's all wired up and ready to go. I've programmed it with my radio, and I'm really quite pleased with this. I'll have to do a running video as soon as I get ahead for that driver. That's the new name for the Holmes Outrunner. We want, bro. It's so good. Hello, Sancho from Tucson, Arizona. Oh, Sea Fart Fire Truck. Thanks for the $2. Hi, Matt. Hi, everybody. Love it. Hashtag comp life. Yeah, that Marlin is quite the comp beast. I like to say how many times over and over again I came in 7th place. Or was it 5th? I can't remember. I don't want to brag. Josh must love that Dean's plug too. Well, you know, Dean's work when you have a bunch of batteries that already have Dean's on them. I mean, I like XT60. I like the new smart connectors, the IC3, IC5s. Those work really well too. Connectors are connectors. Straight out of Compton. That's pretty good. I like that Overlander, see? The 4Runner springs failed frequently. I guess that's 7th out of 6. There were more than that. There were at least... How many people were in Class 1 that year, Richard? Do you remember? It must have been at least... I'm going to say at least 30. Maybe more. It was a good year for me that year. Not in Class 2, but every other class. Does it look like I'm looking at it when I turn this way, or is it the other way? It's this way. Cool truck. There were at least 8. Josh shot me down for having 2S with Deans. 30 at least. See, there you go. It was a spectacular run. I felt very good. The Colorado guys were there, so I think that says an awful lot about finishing 7th. If they weren't there, I would have been 3rd. Anyway, yeah, so that's that truck. What else do you guys want to see tonight? Because I had intentions of installing some new hardware. I got this new Firma censored system. This is the 2100 kV censored Firma setup. Ford 3th. I would have finished 3rd. Yeah, 2100 60 amp ESC. I already have the 1800 kV combo in the 6x6 Cherokee that Richard actually built the body on. And I was going to install this today, but I realized I don't really have anything to install it in right now. So why don't we actually, since we're talking about that 6x6 and Big Red Bitch would like to see it, I'll pull it up and bring it up on the bench here. Austin Versteeg, thanks for the Canadian $5. Just bought a UMG 10 6x6. What upgrades would you recommend? Can I fit Capra axles? Capra axles, I think, would be mighty wide. Very wide, in fact. I probably would not put those axles under a 6x6. Here's my UMG 6x6. Oh boy, this is there. That's pretty good. That sort of fits. Richard from Turks and Jerps, pardon my noob, he built this body. This was sort of a gag. We were like, oh, you know, it'd be hilarious, a 6x6 Cherokee. And then he built one and sent it to me. I painted it with Toyota paint because any true Jeep aficionado does that. It's a pretty unique 6x6, obviously. Let me see if I can easily remove the body for you. See, I think I planned this. Did. So, yes, it's got a bit of an interior in here and stuff, and I'll show you all of that in a minute. I'm just going to put it over there for the sake of just moving it for now. But it's pretty much a standard 6x6. Nothing much changed here. I think I had to adjust the rear and the mid-rear links a little bit. And then the axles are, this is where it gets a bit complicated. These are kit axles using RC four-wheel drive portal boxes. And you know what? Let's get a better look at them by doing this. It's a bigger storage area than Josh's Gladiator. Agreed. Beef Tubes did a ton of extra work to make this all work, because these actually aren't kit axles because there was no center pass-through option. Now, it's been so long since I built this, I'm having a hard time remembering why I did or why I didn't do what I did. They're AR-44s, so that was normal. But I think Dan had to make them using his own beef tubes and outer portions in order to make it so you could use the pass-through axle. That's right, because there was no housing for a kit axle on the middle one. So he had to kind of do a whole bunch of modifying, put his beef tubes in these, and then like the beef tips or whatever he calls them, in order to accept the RC four-wheel drive portal box. So yes, I put portals on a Jeep. Don't ask me why. I wanted to have portals on a UMG 6x6, and then I was like, let's use this for a long Cherokee. This actually has another Spectrum censored brushless system in it. So this is where I first put one of those systems in. Let's have a better look at it there. Made up some sliders. These are from Scale Metal Supplies. He did the, custom doodads. So it's like a braze yourself kit. So he provides all the bits and then you just braze them together. Or did I make these? Maybe I made these using his stuff. I don't remember. Beef Tubes, the most muscular logo in RC. You are absolutely right. He's got the big veiny muscles on his logo. Otherwise, this is a pretty standard UMG 6x6. Just a few add-ons to make it a bit more unique and a bit more original. And certainly a lot more fun with that giant 6x6 body. These are the 4.19 Patagonias. Big red bitch. Yes. And they look quite good on there with the Cherokee accurate wheels. I love these. Putting Capra axles under here, you'd have to cut all of your own links. I'm not saying it's possible or impossible. The biggest issue you'd have is that there is no pass-through available for a Capra axle, so that would be your biggest challenge. So there we go. Slow Don, hello. We're just kind of futzing about. Quack RC, thanks for the $2. Much appreciated. Hey man, gotta say, I love the Capra on 3S LIHV. Oh, good. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Capra on 3S is definitely where I would be running it too. Let me get the chassis out of the way here for a second. Get a better look at the body, because Richard did an amazing job on this, and I think it's worthy of spending a little bit of time staring at it. It's a pretty seamless match. You wouldn't know that this started life as, well, I mean, obviously you would, because there is no 6x6 Cherokee that exists as a model kit, but he did a really great job of combining the two kits that I sent to him, or you bought them, and then I think I sent you money for them, I think. Yes, so, yeah, just a lot of really nice details done there. I did a little 6x6 license plate using one of the Element kits. I tinted all the windows because there's no full interior. There is a dashboard and window or door cards, so at least it on initial inspection you're like, oh, okay, that looks pretty good with the steering wheel and stuff. Otherwise, yeah, not much. Who built that monstrosity? Yeah, I know. It just keeps going and going and going. And I think the best bit of comedy for me, 4x4 badges. Because obviously it's not a 4x4, it's a 6x6, ding dong. But I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, and I just I saw an example that was orange-ish, and it had these nice sort of black trim bits here. So trim bits. So yeah, I thought it all looked really nice together. It's a nice truck. Nice truck. So there you go. 6x6 Cherokee. Something you didn't know you needed or wanted until now. Let me just roughly put it back there. Fits nicely on the shelf. Takes up a lot of shelf space, though, because it is so long. Brad Havner, thanks for the $1.99. Much appreciated. Another failed business name, Trimbits. You're doing a 6x6 with capper axles. Mofo RC makes a dual output trans with a divorce kit. I see. So you're not going to run an actual pass-through. You're just going to run a second drive shaft. I wish that somebody would just make a pass-through. Wouldn't that just be way cleaner? Wouldn't that be like infinitely cleaner? I was fiddling around the other day with this. The RC four-wheel drive cross-country kit, because I wanted to kind of clean it up and fix a couple of the parts that I broke. They did send out replacements in plastic, so the underside still has these weird link hangers. I'm not thrilled with the design of some of these things, and I was kind of hoping that they would revise them, but they haven't yet. Just like the way that the links come off the axle, it's just a bit, and I think they should have been aluminum from the start rather than the plastic that they chose to use. But I do like how the chassis kind of narrows at the front and widens at the back like it would be in real life. I'm sure there's other things you could do with this chassis. But I actually just did a couple of minor things. I replaced the motor mount. They sent a new not bent motor mount, which was a good thing because the front one, remember the first one? If you go back to my review video, you'll see at like the skewed angle that the motor was at. I had to actually shim the motor on the motor mount in order to make it kind of line up with the spur gear. Excuse me. Otherwise, there wasn't much that I did. I changed the springs in the back to make it sag a little bit more. And then I painted the body and got rid of that kind of plasticky look that it had to it. It was just so, like the blue, I liked blue, but I just wanted to, make it bluer. So now it's this sort of metallic light blue mica. Jeremy Burris, thanks for the $2. Both UMG rigs are no longer being made. Well, that's a real shame. But you can still get the 6x6 add-on kit, right? Oh, I'm so blurry. What happened? Let's fix me. That's weird. There we go. Sorry about that. Looks better now. Yeah. Oof. Yikes. Yeah, no, this looks better now too. Yes. It's still basically just a black rook. I got rid of the black fenders. I thought color fenders looked better. And then I also ditched the spare on the back and replaced the smaller wheels and tires with a slightly larger General Grabber. These are off the Element Trail Runner. Big fail though. And if you pay attention on my Instagram, you saw that I called it out. And I'm calling myself out. But you go ahead and tell me what you think is wrong with this truck. While I look through the... You didn't mind the blur. Wes. Looks like a Sahara now. Yes, exactly. Sort of mall crawler adjacent. Yeah. Dale C., thanks for the $5. Honest opinion of my Stance TF2 I sent a picture of. Oh, I flipped the front spindles and dremeled them for extra steering angles. Stance look. I'll have to check, Dale. Where did you send that? Did you send that? Yes, everybody's right. The 6 lugs. I know. I am a ding-dong. I knew that they were wrong when I put them on. And yes, there are no inner fenders yet either. But yeah, the 6 lug is a dead giveaway that I don't know what I'm doing. Dale C., did you send me that picture again? Or where did you send it? And I'll try to take a look. Was it on Instagram? I'm going to guess it was on Instagram. Oh, man. Westmade's Commando looks amazing. Oh, right. Yes, the drifting. Yes, I thought it looked great. I thought it was a lot of fun. That is some aggressive steering, for sure. No, I think that's a pretty cool way to use a TF2. Good job. I like it. Instagram last night. Yes, I checked it out. What's wrong with it? It's an overpriced RC four-wheel drive that got Instabanned. I saw it before you retracted it, DK. Nice try. Yeah, I don't know. If you didn't already notice, there is a 7 slot under there. And what I did was I took the outer grill that sat on the front here covering this up and glued it to the back. So now it looks like, there's an actual radiator in there. So I don't know. I'm sort of like, I'm glad I have it in that I'm glad I kind of put it back together and got it sort of looking in a way that I was sort of happy with it. But I'm not sure I'm going to keep it. I'm not totally in love with it. I don't love the JK bodies as much as I like the JL body. Yeah, I'll I'm going to just kind of stare at it for a couple of days and decide if I want to keep it or not. It's probably the best way to do it. Gee, I'm really sorry your mom blew up, Ricky. What's that from? Oh, did anybody see? I have some emblems that I'm going to add. Where'd those other ones go? They're gone. But I have some emblems for Jeeps that I'm going to add to that Jeep. The opposite of chuffed. Unchuffed? Not chuffed? Chuffingly bad? I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to put those emblems on there. Always could put a JL hardbody on the very scale frame. True. Not a bad idea, actually. Not a bad idea. There's a little person on the left bottom of the screen. Big Red Bitch, all the stickers have been shipped. So, if you ordered stickers, you should be getting them very, very soon. But they are shipping from Canada, so expect a bit of a delay. And that's what's on the bench. No, there's more stuff. There's more things happening. Yes, there are more things happening. Like 3-wheelers. I've done some work. Look at how tiny it is. It's so cute. I cut some of the windows out. Should we zoom in for this? zoom in. Travis, message me when you get a chance then, Matt. I understand. I don't understand, but I will say you should do more stickers next time. 200 sets. I sold a lot of stickers, I'm not going to lie. And I sold them all in like no time. So I like keeping it to a limited number because 200 is a lot for Rebecca to put into envelopes. I have to print all the address stickers. It's not completely automated. It is. It takes a long time. So it is one of those things. Hey, Gunnar Nissen, thanks for checking in. Just so you know, guys, there is some more beef jerky that came. So yeah, so small, and you got to zoom. Yes. But yeah, next time I'll do stickers maybe in the fall. We'll see. It is a pretty involved process, and getting them all out in a timely fashion usually doesn't go as quickly as it did this time. Pre-orders, not a fan of that either. I like to know sort of how many I'm making before. Well, I like to know how many I have because it's easier for me to just make a block of them and then just get them done and shipped out. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways we can handle it, but I might just keep doing it the way I'm doing it. Camtech do a nice body for the Sand Scorcher, do they? Interesting. Yeah, they were sold out very quickly. Sorry about that, guys. How am I going to make this Toyota? Good question. Probably not going to be one. But I was really, really thrilled with the quality of this styrene body. It's nice and thick. It's a thick boy, for sure. But it cut really nicely. Like I was able to score all of these windows, and like by the third or fourth scoring, I was just going straight through with the blade and making nice, really smooth cuts. How could we do? Let's see here. There I am. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Yeah, okay. I know Jeff Packer. I'll get that one up next after this one here. Lots of heat to scare Matt. Yeah, no kidding. I'm not looking forward to that gun at all. It's a pinched Yaris. Yeah, no, this is a really fun little chassis, but the cuts on the body are perfect. And when Moosejaw did the one for Josh, it didn't come with this little triangle piece where you would put a number on it, I guess, like if you were racing them. And I just thought it looked so awesome up there. I can't wait to glue that into position. As for paint, I don't really know what to do yet. I feel like it's a really beautiful canvas. I know we were talking about like Mutt's cuts, but I don't know if I want to do that now. I feel like paint might be a better option for this little guy. It's such a fun looking little chassis, and with that Satan motor, I'm sure it goes like the devil. Am I going to do a build on this? No, I think this is just sort of like a spare time fun project. It's already got a built chassis. Put fake taxi on the triangle. I don't know what fake taxi is, Chong ERC. Maybe you could explain that to everybody. But there's it's a tiny little chassis. Look at this thing. Just a not carbon fiber chassis plate, some limited suspension up front, a servo, an ESC, a brushed motor, and a solid rear axle with some minor suspension travel as well. It's just such a fun little like can car, basically. I bet you this thing would have dominated in like 1992 with the foam tires. Man, it's so fun. And this styrene body was just a pleasure to cut and work with. I think it's awesome. I can't wait to get it all detailed and painted up. I think it's going to be a real fun little build. And hey, Lone Star RC guy, thank you very much for the $4.99. Thank you for all the great content. Thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Fake taxi equals brazzing. Okay. Understood. Sean, welcome. It seems like you've not been on this channel for a while, but thanks for checking it out. You should weather the body like how that car is in Wreckfest. I'll have to look that up. It's a video game, I believe. That topper, Pizza Hut delivery thing. Yeah, that could be good. We could just do red and just do it like an old school Reliant Robin. But that might not be fun enough. I feel like this big back panel deserves some kind of like advertisement space or something. Maybe I'll do like a Smiggins. I have no idea what you are talking about. Oh, brazing. Maybe like a Smiggins Folly delivery car or something. We'll come up with something kind of fun. But yeah, I'm just like super chuffed with this little British weirdo car from Camtech. Kamtec. Definitely worth checking that out. So that's what's going on with that. I think I'm going to put windows back in, like actually do some Lexan windows so they're, more aerodynamic. We'll see. That's coming along quite nicely. I'm pretty happy with that little guy. Somebody wanted to see the truck that does the thing. Yeah. Too many trucks in here. Somebody wanted to see this truck, I think. When the servos aren't plugged in, it does sit quite low. Like that's a lot lower than most TF2s, I think. Let's go wide. There we go. So this is the Super Scale 2020 car. Truck. Why do I say car? I'm not Josh. Anyway, this has the active suspension. So it's got shocks just like a regular truck. But underneath the hood, everything is vastly different. You can sort of get a good look at that there. There are these 3D printed mounts that hold one servo on each corner of the suspension. And then there is an Arduino controller with a gyroscope built into the middle of the truck here. And what it does is it controls the movement in real time. So as the truck goes over a bump or if it stops abruptly, it has a whole like shake to it, which is pretty cool to watch. You can also raise and lower the suspension on demand with this system that I set up. So you can actually like stance it way down low if you want, or you can have it way up high. It's Uncle Albert's lawn service. Craig, that's a great idea. I'm writing that one down. He needs it too. Add it to my long list of things. Uncle Albert's lawn service. Klondike 54387. It's great. Big Red Bitch. You think I need a new work mat? This one's in pretty good shape. I think this one's got a little bit of life left in it. But anyway, I've got a really great series of videos on this whole build and this truck and how it works. So you should go and watch them because it is a fun thing to watch. Yeah, I was really pleased with how it all turned out. So yeah, definitely go check that out. It's a pretty good looking truck. This is a lot of people think that this is just a 4Runner. It is not. Winnebago in the early days before the 4Runner took a Hilux and actually grafted on this whole fiberglass rear sort of camper bed. So this would have been like your Hilux would have stopped here. They would have chopped out the end sides and they would have made this whole bed out of whatchamacallit? Fiberglass. Yes. Those are the words I'm looking for. And yeah, then you would have another set of seats back there and a full interior, and that would be your truck. So yeah, but this is what a Trekker is. That's what this is called. So essentially, it's an SCX10 2 raw builder's kit underneath, linked because of the way this suspension system works from Superscale 2020. And I had to move a lot of stuff around. I actually put the kit transmission in there so it wouldn't sit as high, so you could get a fairly decent interior in there, because there is one with a man driving it and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to that. But definitely go watch the videos on how this whole system works. It's very, very cool. And one of the more popular videos from this year, actually. Or did I do that last year? I do not remember. It must have been this year. Must have been. All right. So that's another one down. Who wants to see what next? That's one of the nicest trucks literally in the world. Well, thank you. For the three-wheeler, it could look like the Simpsons one. Put it in H. Oh! The good ideas keep flowing. This is why we do these streams. Because you guys are so smart. That's a really good idea, too. Who was that? Jay Walker. Brilliant idea. Shift it into H. Gets 4 hectares per... 4 hectares for every tank of kerosene. That's what I'm writing down so I don't forget. Where's this crazy car from? Where does this crazy car come from? The country no longer exists. That's really good. I love that. In fact, that's what it's going to be. I love it. Craig, your idea was very excellent too. Jelly Bean, how's that Yaris interior? Yaris is gone. I sold the Yaris. It shipped out yesterday. Sold the Yaris and I sold the G-Made Buffalo. They both left yesterday. So what I'm doing is I'm clearing out room for more things, because there's a constant flow of stuff happening. Jelly Bean. All right, you want to see the Jelly Bean, eh? All right. Have I thought about a crawler for the Mad Van body? No, but it's a 12.8-inch wheelbase on that van, so I have a spare. I have a spare TRX4 in the 12.8-inch wheelbase, so I will probably do that. Probably put it on that, but maybe I'll delete the portals. Maybe. All right, Jelly Bean coming up. I love this truck. I just don't get to drive it enough because I set it up to be sort of a comp truck, which is a terrible idea for a hard body of this size and stature. It's beefy, to say the very least. It started life as a Vs410 Pro. I've made some modifications to it, obviously. It's not much that hasn't been changed on this. This is a pinched front FJ80 body, Land Cruiser FJ80. I took a whole bunch out of the front, so much so that it only says Oyot on the front, no longer says Toyota. That truck looks beat, but it's not. This was a paint technique called chipping. And it looks really cruddy, but it's all actually part of a system. So you paint it brown, black underneath, then you apply a bunch of hairspray, and then you apply the white paint. But before you seal it, you can go in and actually brush away the paint with a paintbrush, and then you seal it. So it has this kind of craquelure, weird-looking kind of crappy finish intentionally. There's a lot more going on in this to make it sort of compy. It is droop setup suspension, Traxxas big bores, internal spring inside, Losi mini T springs on the outside, deluxe fab shock collars to hold those springs in place. It's a pretty crazy setup, actually. There is a servo winch in there. That truck looks like shit. Thanks. Yeah, Vs410 Pro, BLS SHV500 direct power servo, some sort of servo winch. I don't remember which one is in here. What else? Man, what isn't in here? I think I went Holmes on this one. I can't remember what sort of ESC. It's been so long since I've actually even looked at it. Ben has a standing order on this truck. Scale Crawler Fab Shop is like, hey, you know, the moment that truck becomes available, let me know. I would like to buy it. Comp front bumper. Comp sliders. See, I'm using the included plastic slider, but then I sneakily put a metal piece underneath so I can get metal slider points without having to put a whole metal slider on there. Because plastic along the sides is going to slide better. Metal underneath, why not? The body is mounted on a hinge. So how did I do this? Okay, so I made a bumper on the rear. Just a very simple tube bumper that integrates some hangers there for some D-rings. And what I did was I hinged it off the back here. So it hinges from the rear. The body is mounted to the bumper with a couple of Scale Metal Supplies tabs. Hashtag comp life, hashtag comp stance. And then it actually uses a couple of pins in the front here to hold it into place through a set of inner fenders that I 3D printed, but printed quite thickly, so they're good. And then there's a little metal tab with a sort of hard to see here. Little metal tab. I don't know if that now you get to see the mess under there. But there's a metal tab that I've shoe-gooed into place on the body with a little rad on there, and this piece, sort of hard to see, but this piece right here is what clips in between the inner fenders, and then that all gets clipped together and stays in place really, really nicely, actually. So sort of a good way to be able to easily, quickly get at the electronics if necessary. Yeah, so that's how that goes. I'm really pleased with how this turned out. You know, you get the full depth points on the bed. I used a bunch of vacuum form parts from Pardon My Noob to make this bed, so it's nice and light, despite the fact that it's got this gigantic body on it. And then some scale points with some doodads in the back. Lovely truck. Not expensive at all. No, not. Well, I mean, yes, it is. But it was kind of built to serve a purpose that I didn't get to actually do because this was supposed to go to Scale Nationals last year. Matt never heard what tie downs are. Is that what the D-rings are? Josh just puked a bit in his mouth when he saw that wiring. Yeah, probably, but he's not watching, so who cares? Yeah. Rule number 1 of RC Club, you don't mention the number of trucks you have publicly. Agreed. Ben, can you stop it? Please leave some for the rest of us. It looks like a Kia Sportage SUV. I like to think that it looks like a Suzuki... what was that thing called? Suzuki made something that basically had this same profile. I should mention, there was a significant roof chop in order to make this work. I do have a great running video on this truck. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. And it performs really, really nicely. So there's that bonus as well. Josh is here. Oh, crud. You don't even know scale points. I don't even need scale points, Josh. This truck points out just as it is. So suck on that. Plus, it's got a full, almost full depth interior. Knees up. Grand Vitara. There you go. Or is a Vitara of some... All right, what's next? What do you want to see now? Sidekick. That's it. Show us your best paint scheme. Best paint scheme, other than, which you can't see because it's painting me out entirely, other than the EVGA Tamiya semi-truck, my best paint that I can see right now is probably the half track. There's some cool ass stuff going on with this one. This was a fun paint job. Yeah. Steam truck, please. Okay, steam truck will be next. Or a Subaru Brat. Yeah, Amigo. Jelly Bean's a curvy Suzuki Samurai. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, so this is an Axial-based half-track Land Cruiser. It's big. It's unwieldy. I can't get any further out so you can see the whole thing. But basically, there, that's reasonable. This started life as a hang-long tank, 16th scale RC tank. You can get them pretty much anywhere. And there's about this much left of it. This actually is shorter than the standard hang-long tank. What I did was I chopped and sectioned the chassis and removed 2 sprockets, basically. I replaced all the plastic sprockets that were on the tank originally with metal ones that I got from Australia. And then I kind of reduced the number of tracks, put metal ones on there, and shortened that whole thing. Maybe get a better idea of what exists of the tank there. So this portion to this portion is where the tank came from. And then I kind of extended it out with another little bit of styrene because I wanted to drive this at Axialfest. And the only way you can do that is to confirm and show in, the actual, like, the organizers that it's an Axial-based truck. So what I had to do was there's actually inside what remains of the tank section here, there's an Axial axle housing that runs these 2 outer sprockets on the outdrives. And there's a differential in there. It's not actually that ugly. This is pretty clean, if you ask me. But what's going on in here is an Axial axle with a differential and some grease, not very much. So it's a pretty open diff. All half tracks in real life had to be open diff, so anybody could just pop in and drive one. They didn't want to make a tank drive because those require practice. They just wanted to be able to, like, say, hey, you over there, jump in that half track and drive it over there. So that's what they would do. So then, because obviously these tracks are turning at a different rate than the front axle would be, GCM Racing helped me build a transfer case that compensates, so it's a proper amount. I think it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. Every 1 rotation of this gives you 2 rotations of this. And it required a lot of math, but those guys helped me sort it all out. And then it's just got a brushed motor running it, normal ESC, and it actually drives really nicely on flat surfaces. It's terrible on the rocks. I tried using this one year in a Class 0 competition and failed poorly. But the reason we brought this up was to talk a bit about the paint job, which I'm pretty pleased with. One of the techniques I picked up from Pardon My Noob was to do your base layer just in primer and then apply sophisticated finishes in a diluted form over the entire body. Anything you wanted to be rusty, for example. And then apply your top layer of paint and then sand through back to that layer of iron oxide paint and then apply your applicator or accelerator to make it rust. And that's exactly what I did here. Even in the scratches and stuff, and anytime you add a new scratch, which doesn't happen very often because I don't drive this all the time, you add more rust. And I was able to, with using sort of a few washes here and there, I was able to make all these rusty logos look pretty rusty. Like anything that was white originally, it's been sanded away or eaten away by actual rust and has made it look infinitely cooler. This top is removable. Top was removable, so you could drive it like this if you wanted, which also looks pretty cool. And inside, there's some scale accessories and stuff. Big oil can in there, and I think I did some dynamite on this side. Yep, there it is. And it's just sort of like, make something really weird and original and different. There is a sound kit in there. I had to shorten this cab, obviously, to make it a single cab with like just the back, no passenger section. So it's a pretty unique build. One that I'm really, really proud of. Definitely a weird one. Where do you get that iron oxide paint? Ryan, it's called Sophisticated Finishes. It comes in a 2-part system. If you can find it still, that's what I used. And there's the front, just so you get a better angle, different angle of it. And yeah, it's one of those trucks that, it's unique and different and not something you would see every day by any means, but a super fun one. I think I put a map in here to like his, because this was like the Scale Builders Guild Mining Corporation. And then I put like a little map in there of the area. I think this actually is Cisco Grove. Yeah, it is, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is Cisco Grove. So like this area right here, that's where Axialfest took place back in the day. Pretty cool, huh? Little map. So yeah, definitely a fun build. Definitely pretty unique. Not something you see every day. I think I've only ever seen one other RC half track, and it certainly was a little more old school. This Land Cruiser body was from RC 4-wheel drive, so it's the RC 4-wheel drive Land Cruiser body. Heavily modified. What a fun cut that was. I think I cut it, basically I took the hood off, and then I just cut it right here. I think that's where the cut was. And then I just grafted the back on. Do I sell any of my trucks? I do. Once I've kind of either grown tired of them. Yeah, I folded that map too easily. Once I grow tired of them or move them on to, I need to move them on or make space for the next thing, I do sell them. Usually they get put up for sale on the Scale Builders Guild forum, so you can check out that. Half snowcat, half truck. Yep, basically. Who makes the body? RC 4-wheel drive. Put guns on the front. Probably not. Not my thing. Did I ever finish the self-driving 6x6? No, I did not. But that 6x6 became the monthly Mayhem 6x6. So there will be other self-driving trucks at some point. I do have the Jetson Nano somewhere. Where'd that go? Oh, it's back over there. But the Jetson Nano will be powering that self-driving truck once we get around to rebuilding it. So any other rules that you can mention that are required at Axialfest as far as trucks? Alfonso, if you're going to Axialfest, my best advice, take an Axial truck. Even if it's Axial based. Frame rails have to be from Axial. They prefer if the transmission, or at least the internals, are from Axial. Same thing with the axles. They want internals from Axial. But yeah, I mean, it's in your best interest to just show up with an Axial truck and then you're good. Does that front bumper pass as Class 1 legal on that body because I'm using the same bumper and body? Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, what does it have to be, the width of the front of the cab? I think you would probably be able to get away with that. I'm going to take a red cat to Axialfest. Okay, well, you have fun with that. CUCV, not done enough. I could go grab I haven't even filler primed it yet because I'm I'm still not there yet. But 6x6 self-driving, I think we'll do a self-driving truck. It won't be a 6x6, I don't think. It probably will still be Traxxas based. I haven't quite yet decided, but something will happen with that. I promise. I promise. Have I thought about building a pinched and dovetailed hard body blazer? No, I haven't. The next blazer based project I'm doing is the CUCV, which is military Chevy, basically. Canada used them, the US used them. Richard, pardon my noob, has a real one in real life, and he's going to be. We're doing a little build off together and making that happen. So, yeah, I'll definitely be getting on that soon. Let's get the 6x6 steam truck up here. I'd like to show that off, I think. Oh, it's a thick boy. This one's a little dusty too. It doesn't get a lot of driving because it's a steam-powered 6x6. Stabby Josh, thanks for the $5. Matt, can you give me your opinion of my Axialfest build? Sent the Lightroom submission email. Josh, I definitely will check that out. Next week is Lightroom Live. For those of you who have been waiting, it's the last Tuesday of the month. So, yeah. Cuckv? Is that how they pronounce it? That sounds terrible. Sean, mine's going to be the Canadian CUCV, or Cuckv, I guess, because I'm Canadian, so I'm going to do that. All right, let's talk Steam. But thank you for the $5. I will definitely check out that Lightroom email. Thank you. All right, so this is the Loco Hawk. I know, Toe Daddy, I know that they tore apart that truck. They had to give back the steam engine, of all things, which is so weird. But yeah, the one-to-one version of the Loco Hawk no longer exists. The owners of the steam parts wanted their parts back. Such a shame, because this was a pretty unique truck. Tire came unbeaded? No, it did. Wow. Good eye. I'll have to fix that. Thanks for that. Kevin Nugent, still one of my all-time favorite RC builds. So great. And Kevin, did you get to see this live when I fired it up at Berkeley? I think you did. How much does it weigh? When it's fully loaded with water, it's probably a 15-pound truck. And it doesn't go very fast, despite what you might think. Steam is great. This engine isn't really technically made for this style of vehicle. I mean, no engine is really made for it. Any recommendations of a 3D printed motor that fits over your servos for an Ultra? Yes, I do have a suggestion for you. And in fact, if you hang on, Ken, I'll show you that after we get through this build. When is the next build-off? On the forum, Evan? I mean, there are build-offs for everybody, really. You can join and build whatever you feel is up to your skill level. But yeah, we haven't discussed that in a while. I've been focused on getting the forum switched over to its new software on the back end, which is all done now. So something we can certainly talk about with the mods and figure something out. All right, so Loco Hawk. The real truck is steam-powered, was steam-powered. The tiny version is steam-powered. The only thing that gets battery power are the servos used to actuate the steam flow, the directional valve, the throttle, and the servo for steering. So that's it. The body started as a New Bright JK. From here forward is all basically stock. This part was new. This obviously is all styrene and kind of perfectly melded into the existing body. Night Customs helped me with the front grill, which is accurate to the real truck. They put a bunch of like steam pipes in there to make it look like a steam truck. There is a functioning whistle, which is right here, and it really works. Toot toot. It's pretty cool. It runs off a butane propane mix, and I'm going to show you the steam engine part of it now. Hawk Designs does do some pretty cool stuff. Yes, they definitely do. The front is attached with magnets, very strong magnets, and then the rest just kind of lifts right off. Mess here, stand by. Go. And if you look there, you get a good idea of how this thing all comes together. Before I show you the chassis, though, gosh, this thing takes up so much room. The inside of the body has a full interior, which is there. And then the back here is loaded up with fire retardant tape and foil and stuff. Not really foil, but like a heat resistant tape, I guess you could call it, in order to not melt the styrene. Because a lot of heat gets thrown off of this boiler. A lot. This was also built for Axialfest, and it is Axialfest legal because I am using a 3-gear transmission up front. It's sort of hard to see at that angle there. But 3-gear transmission up front, center transfer case, and axial axles. They're actually Vanquish Curries on the older style axial axle. And then there's this whole steam engine on the back. And let me kind of try to go through this with you here. It's dry right now. It doesn't have any water in it, but when you run it, you can fill it up with about 3 cups, 350 milliliters of distilled water. You want to use distilled because anything else, the steam will just eat away at all of the internals. It'll get all calcified and gross and be a real piece of junk. So you want to keep it as clean as possible. This is the butane propane cylinder. You just fill it up through this valve here. Shouldn't be any, I don't think there's anything left in there. Oh, still a little bit actually. What that does is there's another set of pipes that goes into the bottom of the boiler down here. And that's where the heat source, like the flames go in there. And then there's like this little spreader that kind of spreads the flames out and equally heats the internal part of the boiler. There is a fill valve or a fill window here. So you actually, I can't show you that. It's hard to see. But it's in there, right there. And it gives you like a little bubble so you know how much water is left in the tank. And over on this side, there is a gauge here to show you how many bar it's generating. And it usually gets between 3 and 4 bar. Slow down thanks to the $4.99 because the half track and the steam truck are quirky enough to be cool. Thanks, I appreciate that. Now it's going to be kind of difficult to see on this side, but what we've got here is a servo, and this servo actuates the flow valve. So what happens is you close this valve, basically like that. Once the bar goes up to about 3 bar, you'll pop the emergency valve, which is up at the top here. And it's sort of hard to see because my fingers are in the way. But then you open the valve, steam flows out along here to 2 different locations. The first one being the whistle. So I wrapped all the pipe here in rope, basically, sisal, so I wouldn't burn my hands because this gets freaking crazy hot. And the whistle is just actuated by a little valve there, toot, toot, toot. There is another servo here, which powers basically neutral, forward, and reverse. It's a reversing valve, so the pistons here operate, and I can sort of spin the flywheel so you get an idea of how that goes. Maybe it's on this side, you'll get a better view. So there, you can see the valves spinning. There's a tiny little flywheel there, and then there's an oil canister here where you put steam oil in so everything gets nicely lubricated. Lubricating a steam engine is very important. You don't want anything getting cruddy. It's mostly bronze and brass, so it's not going to get rusty, but you do want to make sure that you're lubricating everything. So steam flows out of here, mixes with oil, flows into the pistons. Those pistons move, turning the drive shaft, which turns the 3-gear transmission at the front of the truck, which is right here, mounted with a GCM motor plate, so it puts the transmission forward. And then that goes out to a transfer case, which powers all 6 axles. So that's it. That's how it works. It's not fast. It doesn't generate a ton of torque because it's such a heavy vehicle. This steam engine built by Regner was really designed to power a boat, which doesn't need a lot of torque. So there you go. The steam engine came as a unit. I did have to connect some of the tubes, and I did have to route my own tubing for the whistle. But I mean, all that took was a bit of bronze or brass and silver solder. That's all you really needed for that. But it's all contained one solid unit. The only thing that, like I said, only thing that powers it, you need a receiver, obviously, and I run a 3S battery and a Castle BEC to power the servos. 1, 2, 3 of them. That's it. That's how it works. I've made a ton of videos on this truck, Nick, so you can definitely check them out. Never seen this one open. Yeah, I know. I haven't shown this one off a lot lately, but this Regner steam engine on its own is not a cheap thing to own. So this is sort of one of the trucks that will stay in my collection forever, mostly because nobody would really be interested in owning it, I don't think. It's not very functional. Like, it works, and it works pretty well. Like, it's a great proof of concept. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is that, like the real truck, the steam does come out of the right underneath each of the front wheels, or front tires. So, sorry, let me just get this all put back here. There we go. Right underneath the front tires there, steam pumps out there as it's driving. So it's pretty cool. So there you go, Loco Hawk. Pretty fun truck. All right, let me go through some of these questions here. Between Matt and Josh, they are so good at what they do and know. Thank you. Want to build a crawler, scale, comp, or both? These two are ones to watch. That's really kind of you. Thanks very much, Mr. Cataract. Yes, Ryan, this is definitely one of the trucks that will never be for sale. I could never let it go. Honestly, it's too original. It's too unique. And I don't think, I'd much rather just sit here than have someone else use it and not enjoy it or not use it as much as I do. Man, I built this little tiny magnet holder thing. Where's the magnet? There it is. Perfect. Yes, many videos were made on this truck. More and more of my trucks are becoming ones I can't get rid of. Yeah, I agree. Don't forget to hit the like button if you're watching out there. Thank you very much for that, by the way. There's some very nice V4 steam engines. I'll have to check that out, Ian. Maybe make this an upgrade. Lubrication is so important with so many things. Definitely your most underappreciated build. Thanks, Josh. I mean, I think what happens is people need to see it. They need to see it operating in order to really appreciate it. Oh, I forgot I put a clock in there. There's a gauge in the real truck. There's a big, huge gauge in the center cluster, and it's like a steam gauge. I didn't obviously have one of those, so I just put a big gold clock in there, which I think looks pretty good. It works. That's the key accomplishment. Yeah, and I think, the thing that people see it and they're like, oh yeah, okay, and then you hit the whistle and it actually drives around and people are like, all right, I get it. That's pretty cool. Yeah, all the rivets are real. I drove all those rivets myself. There's like 300 and something rivets on it. Brazen, I know I can't cross the border yet. They still have it closed, so we'll be going to Axialfest. Should have won an award at Axialfest. I didn't actually enter it in the concourse. I don't. I go when I go there. I go. I've been in the past all 4 years that I went as an employee, so I was always doing something for Axial. So I thought it'd be kind of like shitty if I took a truck and put it in the concourse and then won. I didn't think that was really cool. So I left that to all the people who were there to have fun. I was there to show off some stuff and see friends and work. So that's what I did. Seafart Fire Truck, thanks for the $5. Loco Hawk is the coolest truck, and it's almost a shame to cover all of that. I agree, but that's what they did in the real truck. And the great thing about it is that I get to show off how to start it up when I take it out and take it to events and stuff. So people do get to still see how it all functions, which I think is pretty key. What makes the half track? Did you mean who makes the half track? Well, I did. It's not an off the shelf truck. Devin Hupner, I know you're not a Lexan guy, but do you happen to know what interiors fit the Axial Trail Ranger body? No, I haven't seen a Trail Ranger body in years. I imagine you could cut up a Proline interior, though, if they're still making those. What's my favorite Looney Tunes character? I don't know. Coyote, I guess. Yeah. Johnny, at Harley Designs, this is almost up there with your foam interior. Surprised the Hawk guys haven't offered to buy it. Kenny and I did a lot of back and forth. We shared a lot of emails, and he shared a lot of pictures and a lot of diagrams and stuff to show me how the original Loco Hawk went together. Fun fact, the numbers are accurate. His are 78. Mine's 7.8 because it's like 10th scale, but it's actually 9th scale. So it's as close as I could get on the math. Yeah, it was, he never really, once I showed it to him and everything, he never really got back to me. He was interested in it for sure, but I don't think he really, they really thought anything about actually having it. I think as soon as they got rid of the real truck, I think that kind of killed it for him, which is unfortunate. Mark, I don't have those TRX6 frame rails handy. I'm not even sure I kept them. Video was enough. What are my feelings on scale points in a comp compared to just driving skills? Based on being able to outdrive everybody but still losing to scale points. Chris, that's an interesting question. I don't think I've ever seen a single comp where someone with more scale points beat somebody who just kicked ass on driving. If anything, it was a combination of the two. But 9 times out of 10, the guys who know how to skirt the rules the best are the ones who are going to win the comps. And I don't mean that in a negative or a derogatory fashion. It's those people who really take the time to think through the rules, who build a truck to be competitive, but also get all the scale points. Those are the guys that are going to win. Driving skill is definitely a big part. I'd say the most important part of any scale comp. But I've never seen anybody with more scale points on a totally tricked out rig beat somebody who was just an insanely good driver. So I would be surprised. Yeah. How about a Moki radial powered truck? I'll need to do some research on that. Send me a link. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate that. Plenty of wooded areas to accidentally wander across. Yeah, but then I'd have to, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work. I'll wait until I can travel. Any suggestions for a scaled toolbox? Oh, it looks like we lost the stream there. We back? Yeah, we're back. Right. You have to be a nerd to appreciate cool toy trucks. Nerd 100%. Scale points are only worth so much. That's why they call it a competition. All good. Okay, maybe it's just on my end that I'm seeing it skip a little bit. How long does it take from fire up to able to move? SFL, it only takes about 10 minutes, give or take, maybe a little bit longer. There's a lot of prep. Like, you got to oil everything and you got to get everything in the right positions. And yeah, then it works. It works within about 10 minutes or so, give or take. Yeah, so that's the Loco Hawk. It is quite heavy. No lie. But it's super cool. I love it. Definitely one of my favorite builds. All right, what else? Well, we're about 9 days away from the giveaway truck, which is all ready to go. The TRX4 Sport is all ready to go. It will definitely get not as dusty as it is when I box it up and ship it out to whoever wins it. But it's in perfect running order. Just add your receiver and transmitter and you're ready to go. So whoever wins this is going to get a pretty good truck. So hopefully you've entered that. The info for winning that is on the forum, so go check that out. Could you turn a Power Wheels into an RC rock crawler? Probably. I mean, you could definitely overpower a Power Wheels. I've seen people do that. You were going to show the motor covers. Thank you, Wes. That's why I have the Mod Squad. Thanks to the Mod Squad for hanging out tonight. So yes, definitely win this. Please. It's a great giveaway, and it's my way of thanking and appreciating everybody for being viewers and members of the Scale Builders Guild and watching on the YouTubes and everything. Somebody was asking about motor covers for the VS410. This is a VS410. This is the VS410. Oh, geez. VS410 Origin. And it's a 6-scale Jeep, so it's too big to fit on the bench very well. But under here, I'll see if I can get a better view of it for you here. There you go. That's good. That's from Scale Designs by Mr. D. Sorry, I'm uber out of focus again. There, I'm back. But that is a motor cover that will fit over both the servos on a Vanquish VS410. And it's awesome. It looks great. So there you go. Old Sun RC, thanks for the $10, sir. Hope you're doing well. I haven't heard from you in a little while, but thank you very much for coming on. He does make the best motors. You are right, Wes. Agreed. Hopefully you guys have all seen the video, the running video I did of this truck. Man, oh man, it was a blast. And it did quite, like, running videos never do very well, but I was really pleased with how that one turned out. God, that chair is so squeaky. All right. So that's sort of what's on the bench right now. Oh, somebody wanted to see the Gladiator. Let's get the Gladiator up here, and then I think we'll call it a night. Oh, my God. All right, here's the Gladiator in all its glory. I love this truck, too. I put the Spec RC 1552 style wheels and on there with the crawler TAs. I just thought this combo was perfect for the Gladiator, honestly. Unique Lime Studio, go to the forum, www.scalebuildersguild.com/forum. There is a giveaways or a bulletin section in there. Just look for TRX4 or YouTube giveaway. Search for it, you'll be able to find it. Anyone notice the similarity between his and RC Four-Wheel Drive's new 4Runner offering? No? Did I? I'll have to go check that out. I'm not sure what they're offering. Somebody was also asking where I got my license plates. These plates come from rcplateshop.com. But here's the Gladiator. I still need to do a ton of work to this. The interior needs a ton of finishing to be up to my standard. But then I think it's pretty much done. I added some Night Customs 3D printed Pelican cases and a roof rack because I wanted to break up all that red up there. I think it looks a lot better with a roof rack on there now. Front bumper, I think it's got a great stance. Like it just looks mall crawler now, right? What's the situation with Tapatalk? Tapatalk doesn't work on the new forum. You don't need it. The new web forum is optimized for mobile browsing. It'll work on your tablet. It'll work on your phone, any kind of phone. It will work and it will look amazing. It will be exactly the same experience as using desktops, computers. So you don't need Tapatalk anymore. You shouldn't be using Tapatalk anyway because it is a huge resource sucker and it steals a lot of your information. I mean, you have to allow it to steal that information, but still, it's taking information that I wouldn't be thrilled using or giving to people. So, yeah, definitely get off that. Best kit to build for beginners, I'd say anything from Axial SCX10 2 raw builders kit is a great place to start. If you want like a full ready to go kind of truck. What else would I suggest? Element RC makes some great stuff too. Gunnerness, and I'm going to start a GoFundMe for Matt's new chair. That's great. Inner fenders need painting on the Jeep. Inner fenders need painting. I'm not painting these. They're staying black. I prefer black fenders because if you're a real off-roader, you're going to scratch the hell out of them. If they're just black plastic, hides the scratches a lot better. Big Red Bitch, did I answer your question? And why is your notification bell turned off? Likely because you've already turned it on. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. What scale accessories do you want to complete your purchase today? Yes. Surprised you don't use Crawler Concepts for plates. I have used Crawler Concepts in the past. I actually had one out today. Where did it go? Where did it go? What was I looking at that I had one of those plates in my hand? Oh, that's so crazy. I was just looking at it today. It was a Bort license plate, actually. What did I do with that? Where did it go? Oh, I know where it is. Yeah, Crawler Concepts does great plates as well. I just, I like to spread it around and try other people's stuff. So there's a Crawler Concepts scale Bort license plate. My son's name is also Bort. We need more Bort license plates in the gift shop. So yeah, there you go. So many comments. Sorry, guys. How do I host photos then? If you are a supporting or VIP member, inline image hosting is included. So there you go. Otherwise, you'll have to use a third party. Next TRX6 video coming soon. Soon. I'm going to paint it in the next couple of days, I think. And black creates shadows, gives it depth. What a great look. I love this truck. Everyone's seen my Night Customs mountain bike that I painted? God, what a lot of work that was, painting this. But so worth it. It looks so much better than if it's just printed. Did I paint the grill on the exterior, or is that a plastic grill? That is the Night Customs insert on the grill. And that was printed, not painted. Have I finished Shippy's fill video? No, not yet. It was raining the last few days, so I didn't get out to where I wanted to go to run it. But I will be doing that one soon as well. Tells me something about being kid-oriented. Weird. Okay, I'll look into that. I don't know what that means. For the SCX10 3 Giuseppe. I've got a series of build videos where I go through every single step. So there's a review video, and then following that, there are 3 or 4 videos that go through every single step of the build process. And I talk about each step as I go, I think. So you'll definitely want to check that out. Okay. True North makes great plates and emblems too. I will check them out, Changi. Thank you. All right. I think we're getting close to the end. You know what? Holy cow, it's 10 o'clock. We've been going for an hour and a half. Robert, nothing for sale right now. The message reads, this function is turned off for content made for kids. Okay. None of my content's made for kids. So maybe YouTube has decided that we're only kid friendly. I will check into that though, because that does not sound good for me. But thanks. We'll definitely look into that. Best trail trek of your choosing reliability wise, Vs410 Pro. All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it. Thank you very much for hanging out. The viewer activity has all gone away, so I'm going to have to guess at who did some contributions here. Old Sun RC, thank you. Seafart Fire Truck, Slow Dawn, Stabby Josh, Quack RC, I'm sure, and a couple others that I've probably forgotten, and I do apologize for that. But thanks, everybody. What seats were used in your new Forerunner? The same seats that come in the Forerunner kit. They're just covered in some fabric. That's it. Stay tuned for tomorrow night, live stream takeover, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Josh and I might be eating some jerky and maybe even talking to Moose Jaw if he's feeling up to it. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. See you again soon. Love you. Bye.